With rants and raves, you'll be okay. And today is your lucky day. It is rants and raves with Gary K.
Hey everyone, this is Gary K. This is my first post InfoComm 2025 video rants and raves, and I'm excited to be joined with Steve Durkee, who I've known a long time. And Steve, as you may know, built a bunch of really cool companies in our industry, and now he's at BrightSign. I don't know that you and I have actually had a video recording since you've been there at BrightSign. Obviously, you and I have talked a number of times, Steve, but congratulations.
Thank you very much. Yeah, time goes by fast. I've been here about more than 18 months, I guess, almost 2 years.
Yeah. We talked about it a couple ISEs ago, I think is when it was announced. And you're the CEO, and a lot of changes, a lot of awesomeness, and of course, a big focus of your booth this year was AI. A lot of people talked about AI at InfoComm. It certainly was the buzzword of InfoComm, but honestly, more than 75% of what I saw was just not that exciting. But what you guys were doing with AI, you're one of the sort of bright and shining stars there at InfoComm. I'd love for you to kind of explain sort of where you are right now, but I know your vision for how you're going to integrate it's going to grow.
Yeah, no, it's great. So first of all, thanks for having me on, Gary. I appreciate it. I was excited to be at InfoComm. I thought the show was great. Our booth was packed the whole time, so it was good. And we were showing off the AI stuff there. And it's just something, on our Series 5 players, and now with the introduction, we'll talk about a couple of new Series 6 players. We've had an NPU on the chip throughout that, and we haven't really worked through until now enabling that capability, which means you can run AI models on the chip without impacting any of the digital signage performance. So at the show, we were kind of highlighting it in a few ways. One was really AI at the edge, which is also kind of a buzzword, but that it is important because there's a lot of privacy and security concerns. Yeah. And if you're running at the edge, not sending information back, you can take care of some of those things. Speed and cost are also important. You're not going to the cloud and back. So we were kind of highlighting that. And then a lot of people have noted this is you talk about AI and it's like, well, what are you really showing? So we actually wanted to show it be real. So not only did we show it on our software tool, Bright Author, we were showing gaze detection where we had an animation where if you looked at it, you saw your eyeballs looking for 5 seconds, all of a sudden it lit up. And obviously that for digital signage, that really is about engagement, proving engagement on the signage. You could use it in training to see if people are watching your training. And then we also had partners. We had QVideo was in our booth showing its audience engagement tools. So and that's really what we were showing is, hey, we can do it, but we're launching AI toolkits for our partner ecosystem. And that leads into the future of what, all of the use cases of digital signage on personalization of content, creating content, natural language type interfaces. So that's coming. I think that's where people get confused is they go, well, that sounds great. What do I do with it? Well, it's coming. People are already, I know our software partners are building tools and it's accelerating. So those things are on their way. But we want to make sure we said it was real. This is here. You could use it tomorrow in your application, but also be prepared for the future. And that means in the case of like our new players, all of our players have an NPUs. You're going to want to maybe get the higher end NPU capability if you're going to want to run some of these. And that's not upselling. That's just future proofing really those installations. So it was exciting. It was a very positive reaction to what we were showing.
Yeah. And that's your Series 6, obviously, that has that, sort of preparing for the future. I mean, you said it runs on all of the different models, but obviously the Series 6 has a much faster processor, does it not?
It does in the sense that it replaced one set, an HD and XD capability. So we still have the XT, which is a step above that in processing power. And all the Series 5 except that one, HD and XD, had an NPU, and now it does. With the Series 6, it has the NPU. So excited to show that. We added some hardware stuff to it. We added an internal SD card for security. We added an integrated SIM slot so you could do cellular connectivity for backup, or if that's your primary way to do it. So we've added some hardware features. We did increase the performance on that, but that really filled out our portfolio. So the whole portfolio now has the NPU. So that's why we were talking about it a lot. And getting that toolkit out is very important for our partners so they can start developing their solutions integrating with that NPU.
Well, I have a question with regard to personalization of content. sort of that's the direction, obviously, the advertising industry wants you to go, obviously, because they know that when they do that, the action that's taken is much higher, right? I mean, they're going to have a much higher conversion rate in that particular case. Our industry doesn't really do a good job, meaning AV, doesn't do a really good job really understanding how the advertising industry uses signage. I feel like you could be one of those conduits, and I wonder how much you've thought about this, not just from the standpoint of programmatic, where it kind of just drops in there, but
Yeah.
more from the standpoint of immersive applications and sort of, activations.
Yeah, I think we can because we have a very broad partner ecosystem and starting to connect real applications and use cases. I mean, we're already working on that with partners. So that as those start to become sort of public, I think we can magnify those opportunities, magnify those examples. I think you'll see it, in determining whether they're a female or male or their
Right.
age or whatever it might be. But
Or even connectivity to their mobile device.
well, that's what I was going to say. You and I have children about the same age, and
Yeah.
they're very comfortable sharing.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I mean, name that
Especially if it's
retailer.
going to give them something they want.
If you give them something they want, they'll turn it on and say, yes, I'm
Correct.
there. And you can imagine the
Yeah.
ability to personalize content if you know who they are and their shopping habits and all those sorts of things. So it's coming fast. And you're seeing there's an announcement in the journal today, another retailer that was really focused on improving the experience in their store for signage. So I think we'll see it come along quickly.
Yeah, I agree with you. And then finally, where do you see, like, could you put your sort of like Merlin hat on, for lack of a better term, and tell me, like, where do you imagine you'll be as a company 6 years from now? Because I almost feel like I really feel like you're a software company, rather than a hardware company. I'm like, I know you have the hardware players and you have all that, but I really feel like what you're serving up is the experience.
Yeah, and it is interesting because we have almost all of our engineers are software engineers. We sell hardware, but it's the software. It's not necessarily the CMS part because we have partners for that, but it's all the operating system stuff that has to provide the security and the reliability and just work all the time. And we really are going all in on AI. I think that is the way. As much as it's a buzzword now, and for example, our software engineers have started to use it to help them write code. And this has been said many times, but the AI we're using now is the worst AI we'll ever use.
Yeah.
It is doubling every 2 months in capability. And so we see that as the future for digital signage. I think all of these displays, whether even they use it for something dramatic in the experience side, they're just going to be using it to make it better, more effective, processing information. It's just a faster way to do things.
Yeah. Yeah. And I could definitely see where AI is going to get where it's sort of like proactively predicting. And that's a big part of advertising, right? Is like kind of already figuring out what you're looking for before you're actually realizing you're looking for it.
Yeah.
And I think that's in the world of advertising, that's when your head is up when you're in a retail store, right? When you're, under the age of 30, your head's down until you walk into a store. And if that experience is positive, their head's going to stay up.
Well, and I also think that it's going to make a big difference in content generation. Because signage, producing good content, as you know, producing good content can be expensive to produce. If you can do that so much faster, somebody that doesn't necessarily be trained, and again, that isn't replacing people. Those folks can work on even better experiences. But I think that simple content generation is also going to expand the use cases for digital signage.
Yeah, more. You're talking about more than just weather and sports. You're talking about more creative stuff than that. Yeah.
I've talked about this before. I joined BrightSign. You looked at one of the lobbies at one of my former companies, and if you just said, "Oh, I know who's visiting today," and someone could just go, "I'm going to go get their latest." Talk on rAVe or something and say, show it up in the front, put the logo up there, put the new products from InfoComm, and it just goes and does that.
Right.
Imagine those types of experiences can be done, in minutes, not days. So
yeah, and in fact, it's done because he or she was on the calendar appointment, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Talk it through. Yeah. This is great. I agree with you. All right. So if you want to see all the videos, obviously you can click the link if you're watching any of this on any of the socials, click the link and it'll take you straight to all the videos we recorded for BrightSign in their booth. But if you want to actually go see them, it's easy to do. Just go to raypubs.com, click on InfoComm, and then type in BrightSign in the video search window. So there you go. It's easy to do. Thanks, Steve. I appreciate it. Yeah,
Thanks.
and congratulations on everything. And yeah, we'll see you as the year moves on with all the other digital signage stuff going on. I'm sure that we're going to see each other.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I look forward to it.
Yep. Thanks everyone. Thanks for watching. Of course, we shot over 1,700 videos at InfoComm over 3 days. They're all at ravepubs.com. Thanks for watching.
rAVe Radio with